A couple years ago, I think it's pretty safe to say nobody expected a sport touring motorcycle like this from Harley-Davidson. And this is your pre-owned bike of the week, which is a 2025 Harley-Davidson Pan America ST. So the Pan America Special, when it first came out, it was 1,250 cc's of just something completely new. It was a bike just with incredible handling and power, and a lot of folks, I think, were really wanting to see and really just keep that bike on a road-oriented version. And last year we saw this, the 2025 Harley-Davidson Pan America ST, which is a Harley-Davidson Pan America, same powertrain, but a little bit more set up for on-road. And so the footprint's going to be very similar, but it's going to have a little bit more road-oriented tire with, I think, that 17-inch front wheel. And, of course, it's a little bit lower, so everyone's going to find it a little bit easier to ride. That black trim with the red accents, sharp. And just this bike out of the box is already an incredible-looking machine and performing. But this is pre-owned, so, and if you've ever had a Harley-Davidson before, then you know that you got to do a little something to it. And so this one does have some aftermarket features. You do have these bar-in mirrors, and these are A1 cycled risers, as well as that A1 cycles exhaust to match the rest of the stainless. And it sounds pretty good, so we're going to crank it up while you look at this added-on Saddlemen seat, too. So, super easy to start these bikes. You just flip that with the key in your pocket. Never have to take the key out unless you want to pull the seat off or lock the forks. And we'll pull the clutch in and just a little tap. Listen to that. And you'll see this bike also, it is lower still, but it still has the adaptive ride height. And it's got just over 1,500 miles. Listen to that. Sounds pretty good. It is set up for a passenger. You got these little flip out pegs right there. Nice little cozy seat. Your passenger's probably going to want a backrest though if you're riding this machine with them. Another thing you'll notice is again with that kind of road oriented, these remind me a lot of the Sportster foot pegs there. So cool to see that, a little bit of DNA on this machine. One thing a lot of folks don't recognize about this bike is just how much slimmer it is than the Special 2, particularly because of that radiator. So I think it's the same size radiator, but it doesn't have those big shrouds or big, you don't have the fairings there. And so a lot of folks don't realize like just how wide that little bit added onto the radiator is. You know, it's really made to be a lower fairing to keep some of that wind off of you. And so you'll notice a little bit more airflow coming up through there. Now, this is probably one of my favorite additions to the bike that was added onto the Specials. And this little deflector, so you don't have all that heat from the radiator being shot right at you. So it kicks it off really well. So just that one little feature really changed how this bike is much more manageable. So, I'm gonna throw my leg over there. So I can already tell it's a little bit lower than that Special. Really like this riser setup. Right, so wow, that sounds good. Okay. Yeah, that sounds really good. One of my hardest things when I switch over onto a Pan Am is I'm so used to shifting so soon. Because, you know, Softails, I'm used to a bike that, you know, redlines at 5,500 RPMs, whereas this bike, 5,500 is just getting started. You know, that's just halfway. Oh yeah, that's such an easy height. If the height is, if you love the Pan Am platform, but the height is something that's really got you intimidated by the bike, throw a leg over an ST. I think you're gonna be very, very pleasantly surprised. This is a good riser setup too. These are the A1 Cycles risers. Gives you about an extra 2 inches up and an inch back, and that's right where this thing needs to be. Saddlemen seat does put me in a very attack position, puts me a lot more forward, which is pretty good. Another thing a lot of folks don't realize about this bike is that it's stock, it has a quick shifter. So the cool thing, another thing about, if you like tech and you like, you know, features, then the Pan America and the ST are really cool to dive into just because of how loaded down they are with all of those extra features. I mean, the Special, all the things it has for that off-road performance is pretty impressive. But then when you look at this ST, it doesn't have some of the features, but it still has a lot of features, and some that the Special didn't even have. Wow, that sounds good. We'll try the quick shifter when we get onto the highway. Oh, we're not even in sport mode. Let's see, mode is top right. Sport mode. This is a quick shift up and down, so we're gonna try it down here. Flash the brake. Okay, pretty smooth in a second. Oh wow. Okay. That's fun. Not bad, not bad. Level of control and precision you have with this thing. The Saddlemen is pretty firm, but man, you're locked in, and you kind of got to be locked in for the riding that you can do on this machine. Holy cow. The most upsetting part about this bike is every time I get on one of the new baggers, I'm like, man, I could see myself on this. I hop on a new Softail and I'm like, man, this is it. I can see it. And then I hop on one of these and I'm like, same thing. Just the way all these newer bikes perform and handle, I mean, it's hard not to have a good time on them. Woo! All right. I'm a huge quick shifter fan as well. As someone that has to shoot from the bike a lot, so far as like doing some photography from the bike and trying to get some roller shots of other people, I'm a huge fan of having that quick shifter, because then I can I can pull with my left hand, pull the camera out, keep my right hand on the throttle, and then I'm stuck in that gear. But with the quick shifter, just pop it up. This one does, you should kind of wait until it's a little bit higher up to do it. It's gonna be a little bit smoother, but I can go ahead and swap gears right there and really not even have to take my hand off that camera, so I can really get some better shots as I'm rolling, which is really, really vital. But for the average rider, I mean, it's just fun. I really can't tell if I like the control layout of this bike or the Pan Ams or the Red Max based bikes. I can't tell if I like the controls for those bikes or if I like the controls on the newer baggers better. There's that downshift, just sounds so good. The performance baggers, I think, are the Harley's version of the Sport Tour, really, you know? I mean, that's why you have the STs, obviously. But this Pan America, that's more of your traditional, it's traditional Harley, but it's also traditional, it's a lot more of what people expect when they hear Sport Tour. It just does what you wanted to do. You know, it's a bike that you're very comfortable in. You can put a lot of miles on it in a day. Everybody know we're here. Oh yeah, we were talking about just how well this bike performs. Little parking deck exhaust test. Oh wow. Did not realize all of that was going on over there. Once you get locked in here pretty good, you know, it feels nice. Just the right amount of grip too. That's a really important feature, just having just the right amount of grip in a seat. Oh, another lovely feature for heat management is some of the early years of the Special, I believe, didn't have a heat guard or a heat shield on the. They did not have a heat shield on the collector where the two exhausts or the two head pipes converged, and it was right near kind of where your toe was, and that was something I always kind of noticed, particularly riding in traffic, and then having particularly riding in traffic where my toes hovering right over that rear brake. I would notice the heat started to build up a little bit on it, and it wasn't quite as fun. Biggest downside to me at least, between this ST and the Special is probably going to be the lack of electronically adjustable suspension. So on the Specials, it's pretty easy, you know, hey, I'm on a bumpy road, let me swap to off-road mode or something, just to get my suspension dialed in a little bit better for that condition. The downside of this is you can't electronically make it softer right here from the cockpit, but you do get finer control over your suspension. So there on the left leg, I can actually control the compression and rebound, I believe, or through that leg, I can actually control that a little bit better and fine tune it. So if you're somebody that really likes to push your bike for certain situations, you know, you can go ahead and get it dialed in pretty well, which is nice. But if you like, you know, swapping modes to soften up the suspension some, then unfortunately I think you're going to miss out on that with this bike. But it's a fair trade. Now, let's talk about some of the features that you can see up here. So if I want to get rowdy, I do have traction control. If this bike, when you connect your phone and a Bluetooth headset to this bike, then that really opens up the things you can do in there. This bike does have heated grips added on. Nice. I don't think that's stock on the ST, but we have them right here, so I can, look at that. Get a little bit extra warmth in there. But I can go through my pages pretty easy, do my music controls, try not to hit this bus. Bus peeling out. Hear you. Really don't want to pass all these guys right here on the right. I like it a lot. Grips warm up right fast too. That's nice. This weird median here. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. So if you want to know more about this 2025 Harley-Davidson Pan America ST, then be sure to come see us here at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. So I appreciate you riding with us. This is a bike that I'm pretty excited about just because it really just changes the game and just shows, it gives riders that want to ride Harley just so many incredible options now, and it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend you come check this bike out. So in the meantime, ride safe, and we hope that you will come and see us soon.